Greetings, everyone. It's Friday. It's finally here again. Say that every week. It always feels like a long slog getting to Friday, but when it arrives, it feels like it was only 5 minutes ago that I was sat here saying exactly the same stuff last week. Anyway, cheers, everyone. It's time for a beer. As usual, Carlsberg Export this week. Yes, it's been an eventful week. Let me just adjust this webcam. It's been an eventful week. I've been getting text messages from James at Agrajag Guitars. What about, do you fancy this on the neck, or what about this kind of finish and that? So that the custom build Agrajag is well underway, and we're looking at possibly a couple of weeks, and it's going to be arriving. So that's something to look forward to. I think I've had my single biggest or best performing video possibly this year, certainly of the last few months anyway. That went out on Tuesday. I want to talk a little bit about that. It was the viewers poll one for the overrated bands. It got quite the reaction, and we'll talk a little bit about that in due course. But let's stick with custom and tradition and see who was first through the door. All Rent to Kill has reclaimed his crown. There he is. Then Terry Day, Ian Clark, and David James. We've got Dave Fiendish, Mark Gowans, Frank Bolam, Francis Chambers, Balder 64 is in, so is Peter Nicholson. Johnny Random is in, so is Theme Tunes, who's in the departures at Amsterdam Airport. Well, I suppose I reach the parts that other beers can't reach. What was it? Was that Carlsberg or was that Heineken? I can't remember. Theme Tunes, also no beer, will be driving. Chip Young is in, and so is Peter Collins. And we've got Vincent Brennan, Tom Clark. There's Anton, Dr. Gomez 1, Cylon Hybrid. Stephen Polk is in, so is Ben Allmark. Craig Stamen, nice to see you, mate. We've got John Ross and Janus L. What else have we got? Have I missed something here? Janus L, you posted Spinal Tap, R.I.P. Have we lost a cast member? I don't tend to keep up with such things because I'm too busy editing videos and putting demo tunes together. But there we go. Anyway, Balder is saying something to me. I've worked out the crowns. Seems it's the biggest bullshitters on the chat. I'm top. Okay, mate. Yes, I was wondering what those were. But you said it, mate. I'm not going to argue with you. You said it. Where are we? Let's have another look. I've got waylaid there. Then there's Amadeus and Paul Trainer BSC, who has, as usual, chucked a couple of quid in the tip jar. You are a gentleman, sir. And that goes for you as well, Janice L. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. We got Johnny D. There's Peter Hall, Chris Otterwell, Stephen Hedger is in. And Stephen Hedger, what are you saying? Looking forward to a beer tonight. Been caring for my wife since surgery 3 weeks ago. It's been hard work, but has highlighted the important things in my life. I'll go along with that, mate. Yeah, my missus had to go under the knife a couple of times. Once in 2016, and then once again, I think, was it in 2021 or 22? I think it was 21. And I was acting as matron then, and glad to do it. She's a good. I snagged a good one when I met War Jackie. Then we got Grandpa Joe, who is checking in from under a palm tree from the beach in Antigua. Hope all are well. Don't forget to consider joining John's Patreon. Joe, you never miss an opportunity, do you, mate? Thank you so much, mate. I'm going to make you my marketing manager. Who else have we got? We've got Michael Purcell. We've got Cal Texper. We've got Peter Williamson, Austin Barrett. Peter Williamson, thank you, sir. That is so generous. I can't believe the generosity of, the wonderful audience I've got here. Excuse me, I'm just going to take this glare off the camera a little bit. It seems to, I get it set up and then it just seems to kind of, how are we doing there? Is that better? I think that's a little better. Anyway, where's it gone? There it is. Yes, and I've lost my place in the chat now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Scroll back up. Peter Williamson, there he is. Thank you so much, mate. You're a gentleman, sir. We've got Calby and the Rocco Cat. We've got Jimmy James, Thomas Mulvaney, Rexamatic is in all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. You're all telling me what the weather's like. Well, today's been one of those days in Redcar where if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. I got soaked this morning when I took the dog out for a walk, and then it came out bright sunshine as soon as I got back. I timed that badly, didn't I? Who else have we got? Let's have a wee look. Robert Forsyth is in. Colin Falcon, just round the corner from me, is in as well. Mr. Chris 5254 is in. So is Rent to Kill back again. Did you leave and come back, mate? Graham Campbell's there. And we got John Channing, Edwin Toonan. Greetings from Amsterdam. Weather is like Redcar. Yes, well, the Redcar weather has been like many places today. We've got MW Card and Searching for Tom. There's the Essex Cat. Andy Milani is in, so is session legend Gary Shaw. Let's have a look down. Peter Hall is there, and Paul. I've said Paul Trainer already, haven't I? Francis Chambers will have to watch him catch up as family have arrived for dinner. Well, go and spend some time with your family, mate. Then we've got Krista Osterlund in as well. Nice to see you, mate. Pooh Ninja is there, and let's have a wee look. Dave Fiendish is on the Star of Praman, or the Stroppy Barman, as we like to call it. And who else? We've got Gordo Canuck is in. Ian Clark saying, have you got a new webcam? Picture looks sharp. No, just exactly the same setup. I am looking at getting a new webcam, actually, because I'm thinking I've got two cameras that I used to make the videos, and one of them's 4K and the other one, this one, isn't. So it would be nice to have two 4K cameras and the entire video could be 4K. So I'm looking into that. We got... who else have we got? Let's have a look. Bill Mumbo is in. Eric Luttinger. Steve Cassidy. By the way, Steve, watched your live stream on Catch Up today, and I just want to say that opening jam that you did on your live stream yesterday that I watched this morning was one of the best you've done, if not the best you've ever done. Really melodic playing, mate. Really enjoyed it. Anyway, let's have a look. Pablo Hank is in. David Holcroft. And Dave Snack Stevens. Sargi is in as well. And who else have we got? Mr. Chris, thank you so much. That is very, very generous of you. We got Maidenman 74, Bob 28, and who else have we got? Ardis Bubba, and I believe that is everyone. Oh, Grumpy Horse as well, just sneaked in there, mate. Apologies if I've missed you out there, but, blame it on pilot error and too much beer, which I haven't had yet, but I am going to. Let's tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. Usual sort of format. Sunday's video is a bit of a guitar demo. And I'll go and grab it here. Can you believe it's 3 years since this guitar arrived in my life? It's more than 3 years now, but when I made the video, it was near enough the third anniversary of the arrival of this guitar, which has had some alterations in that time. I've documented those. Just look at that, isn't it fantastic? Thank you, Joe. But yes, so it's just a little retrospective look at my Les Paul tribute. A guitar that basically I bought it just to be a special occasions guitar. Like the pair of I think they were Prada shoes that my missus had for a while. She would only get them out on special occasions, and on no account would she ever wear them outdoors. To which my response was, "Well, aren't they a pair of slippers then?" And that didn't go down well. But yeah, I didn't buy that guitar to be my main guitar, but somehow or other it's ended up occupying the gold position on the podium. That's Sunday's video. Anyway, then on Monday, talking a little bit about Edwin Toon, and thank you so much, mate. Next time, Heineken. Heineken is just was for a long time just not in stock in the local supermarket, so I kind of switched to Carlsberg Export, and my palate has developed a taste for it. But thank you so much, mate. Monday's video, blues. You know how you can often tell a blues guitarist even when they're not playing a blues solo? I can, at least, anyway. There are certain little traits that they always include. You can hear this in Clapton's playing a lot. It's, in his 80s kind of pop rock period, all the guitar solos then all still sounded like blues solos, even though they weren't on blues tracks a lot of the time. So we're looking at that phenomenon on Monday. Then, as a little bit of a counter to the last Top 5 Tuesday video, the most overrated bands, according to you chaps, I'm going to be doing my list of my 5 favourite rock bands of all time. So, yeah, I'm going to come back to that topic in a moment. Then on Wednesday, we're looking again at recording. We're coming towards the end of that series of videos now, but one that I've been asked to do is how do you use recording software to play along with a backing track? Well, we're looking at that on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, sort of a precursor to a new series of videos that I'm going to be doing, which is going to be taking over from the Wednesday recording videos, about light bulb moments that I had when I made important discoveries on the guitar. And this first in this series of videos is actually going out on a Thursday, but eventually they're going to take over the Wednesday lesson slot. Yes. That Top 5 Tuesday video, the most overrated bands according to you good folks, my audience, it just blew up and got more views than any of that sort of Top 5 Tuesday type video ever usually gets. And the vast majority of the comments on it were positive and humorous, and basically got what the video was, which was a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, fun-poking, Mickey-taking out of the great and the good, the rock glitterati, if you will. But some people just woke up that morning without a sense of humour, it seems. There were enough comments to make it a sort of a trend. I would say probably about, I don't know, well, not as much as a quarter of the comments, but more than 10% were, what's with all of this negativity? Why are you being so negative? This was just an unnecessary filler episode. Why are you all, I couldn't watch through this whole thing. You were just whinging and moaning all the way. People writing long whingy diatribes in the comments were saying that I was whinging and moaning too much. Work that one out. There was one chap who said that, this was akin to schoolyard bullying. This is, if you're calling this having a laugh, it's no different to the school bullies that used to tease the fat kids. Well, look, take a look at me for start off. Who do you think was the fat kid in the schoolyard? I did have a brief period in my 20s and early 30s where I was lithe and thin and svelte and chiseled. But then, this basically, ale and pies, basically. Go and do something positive with your life rather than making this kind of awful video. All of this kind of stuff. And oh dear me, didn't the U2 fan club start moistening their tenor lady pads? What? Oh, you can't say anything about that band. Oh dear me, they are. The people who will defend them. They are. I mean, if you like U2, fine. I'm not. I don't. And they were the most nominated band on the list by you good folks. So it seems that I'm not alone in that opinion. But the people who do like them, they will not have a bad word said about them. It seems, you know. Anton, what you saying there, mate? Re trolls no sense of humour posts. How about a stupid comment of the week feature in the Friday live stream? Yeah, I've seen the studio rats do that, and it has occurred to me. But the thing is, with my stupid comments that I get, I'll go months without one, and then I'll do a certain video that will elicit them all in one big lump. So I'm not sure. I'm fortunate in the fact that I don't tend to get that many. What's the technical term? Knobheads in my comment section, but when they do turn up, I think they just get a bus trip together and all turn up at once. The other one that people were saying was like, how can you call U2 Coldplay, insert name of band here, overrated? They've sold millions of albums and got loads of fans. Well, that kind of is the definition of overrated. Nobody says that the band from the club up the road that kind of play to an audience of 30 every fortnight and and nobody's ever heard of, you're not going to call them overrated because nobody's heard of them. This was the whole point of an overrated band, is a band that everybody talks about and you just don't, as a personal subjective opinion, you fail to see the appeal. That was what this video was about. Now, the reason why I'm doing, next week or this coming Tuesday, basically a similar video, but talking about bands in a positive sense, is, the top 5 best rock bands in the world ever. That's something like that. Anyway, is I just wanted to see, which kind of video gets the most views. Is it a video where there's, where people are basically having a bit of a rant, or is it a video where we're kind of blowing smoke up someone's backside? I just want to see which video gets the most traction. I suspect I already know, but there you go. Anyway, that was just my little observation on Tuesday's video. Make of it what you will. Excuse me, I need to just lubricate a little. Craig Stamen, what you're saying there, mate? I thought it was a brilliant video, John. I'm a huge Metallica fan, but I understand why people think they're overrated. Yeah, they made the cut as well, didn't you? What you got to remember is that by the time I see the comments for a video, it's thick end of 2 months after the fact that I made it. So, because, I'm about 6 weeks in front with videos now. I'm currently working on videos for the back end of July, beginning of August. So those are all fresh in my mind now. The stuff I was making at the back end of April and the beginning of May, which is now going out, is the sort of stuff that I'm having to respond to. So quite often I have to watch my own video to remind myself what I was saying. Classic rock album. Yes, I know the channel, mate. It's Classic Album Review, isn't it? I love that channel. Very dry sense of humour, that chap. Occasional collection of Egypt's comments. His put-downs are sublime. Oh, they are, aren't they? I might just start compiling a few of these comments and do something like that myself. There's not enough for a weekly feature, but it would be a fun thing to do, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. Edwin Toonan, you didn't mention Yngwie Malmsteen. He has fanatic followers, but my God, he is overrated. It was, yeah, he wasn't nominated on the list. I don't think I've still got that list somewhere. All of the suggestions came from you good chaps. Putting them in that community post. Shall I do another video like that? Is that worth doing? Maybe we could do most overrated guitar players. I'm sure we all have opinions about certain famous guitar players that would and I'll take it on the chin if the if the Egypts want to have a day out again, we can deal with that. Um, uh, the Lamb. No, great minds, John, says the Lamb. Yes, nice to see you in then, mate. And yes, knobheads indeed. Let's have a look. What you're saying there, Anton? Oh yeah, we've seen that one, haven't we? Sad to see Metallica on the list. Cut me teeth on their music, but I guess they deserve it after their great first 4 albums. It went down from there, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean there's 2 periods of Metallica, isn't there? You can sort of use the Black Album as a dividing line. That was the first album where I actually kind of detected any sense of melody. I first heard Metallica in the 80s on the Tommy Vance Friday Rock Show, and I didn't get it. And I heard them repeatedly week after week, and I just didn't get what this new thrash genre, as it was then, was about. And so I tended to avoid them. And then the Black Album came out. I thought, oh, actually, this is really rather good. Nothing Else Matters, The Unforgiven, Enter Sandman. See, to me, that is just great classic rock. But I can understand why, if you were reared on a diet of their heavier, faster, more aggressive stuff, that you would see that album as being something of a abrupt and possibly disappointing changing direction. I just want to tell you, I've got a fantastic viewer's tale for you tonight. It's one that it is a viewer, because I know he's watching now, but he doesn't usually show up in the chat because he watches on his TV. It's an old pal of mine I've known for many, many years, and he's got a lot of from his work, basically from his career. He's got a lot of interesting tales, and most of them are not repeatable in public, but this one is. So I'm gonna. It involves a member of the royal family, and that's all I'll tell you. But that's worth sticking around for. The Lamb is saying the truth is those knobheads are a sign of success, a sign that the channel's reaching plenty of people outside the community. Jaded people attack success. It's a shitty barometer. Yeah, funnily enough, mate, that's exactly what they were calling me, jaded, for attacking success. But you know what? As I've said, I've had. I played the Northern Club circuit for years, and one particular occasion, we were up there on stage belting out Chesney Hawkes' "I Am the One and Only" and dodging gravy-soaked Yorkshire puddings coming from a disgruntled audience who thought they were coming to see a stripper, and it was us. So yeah, that was quite an experience. So what I'm saying is that some keyboard caps lock warriors, don't really cause me much in the way of lost sleep. Anyway, chaps, I just need a quick refill, and I shall be back. Talk amongst yourselves for just a second while I recharge my flagon of ale, which will be, obviously, an absolutely textbook perfect pour. It will be just the perfect amount of head on an ice cold Flagging a veil. Oh, look at that. That's just a perfect pour, that, isn't it? Oh, you can't see, can you? You can't prove it isn't, though, can you? Anyway, you're still going to type flake. There we go. Rent to kill, what you're saying there, mate. What makes me laugh, you get a nasty comment in videos like that, yet some girls dancing on TikTok gets 5 million viewers and they think it's amazing. I have yet to experience TikTok. I have yet to experience Instagram. I had a Twitter account briefly many years ago. It's not called Twitter now, though, is it? And what's the other one? Facebook? Yeah, I was on there briefly as well. I think the thing with Facebook especially is that many people kind of jump on that and reconnect with old friends from college or school that they haven't seen in, a couple of decades. And, oh no, it's all very jolly. But two things. First of all, I did all that 10 years before social media. If anyone remembers Friends Reunited, yes, I kind of caught up with all my old school pals and college acquaintances back in the days of Friends Reunited. And what you suddenly remember, in most, not all, but in most cases, is that the people who you lost contact with, there's usually a pretty good reason why you lost contact with them, why you couldn't be bothered, kind of keeping up the contest. The lamb, thank you so much, mate. There is. That's very generous of you. Flakes are about £2 these days. Yes. Can't remember the last time I had a Cadbury's flake. Yes. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. I don't kind of do TikTok. I don't do social media at all, really. It's, I don't know, is YouTube social media? To me, it's more of a broadcasting platform. But I suppose you could call it social media. But apart from YouTube, I don't bother with it because I have a life, basically. I just can't. I don't imagine I could find time in my day to spend, kind of giving heart emojis to pictures of kittens, and which is what you're supposed to do on there, isn't it? I'm not sure. Anton saying Friends Reunited, divorce manufacturer. Not speaking from experience. Casey Lee, first time in the chat. Because I'm travelling, I'll lurk and listen. You lurk and listen as much as you want, Casey. Everybody's welcome around here. I know that when we have the Red Carmageddon, I'll just mention that, September the 19th, kind of get yourself an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast somewhere in Redcar, just somewhere to rest your weary head after a night on the beer and the curry. We can, there are lots of people who turn up on that, they introduce themselves, and I say, what's your name in the chat? Oh, I don't usually go in the chat. I usually just kind of lurk and watch. So I can see there's 161 souls on board at the moment. I don't think there's 161 different names in the chat there. So I know that there are a lot of people watching but not chatting. Have I got another super chat there? Janice L. Thank you so much, mate. I think that's the second one from you, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, very kind of you, mate. That's very, very generous. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. My tips jar is overflowing. So I know there are a lot of people who kind of either watch on catch up. If you're watching on catch up, thanks for watching. Thanks for taking part in a delayed sense. And if you're watching just live and you're not in the chat, or if you're watching on TV, you can't really join in the chat, can you? But everyone's welcome around here. What you're saying there, mate? Real Ryle. I do apologise if that's a butchered pronunciation. I like the channel here, more entertaining than Rick Beato 1 and 2. Oh well, thank you so much, mate. Rick Beato John Robson 1, Rick Beato 0. How about that? I'll take that score. Anyway, shall we have a look at some pictures of guitars? I think that would be a cracking idea. Let me just navigate to the folder. In there, no, not that folder. I'm in the wrong folder here. Yes, an idiot abroad. Here we go. So we're starting off with a bit of an odd one this week. Let me just go to the screen share. There it is. And here we go. This is Tom Clark's oil can guitar. I presume it's an oil can. I can't quite read I know it says Bohemian Moonshine. No, is that Moonshine there? It's a metal can guitar, and Tom informs me that it sounds and plays better than it looks. Yeah, it's got a certain vibe about it, hasn't it? Tom, you didn't say in your email if it was a parts caster or if it was something that you can buy just off the shelf like that. Be interested to know, mate. Then that's a very unique form of guitar, isn't it? I do say in this section, if you want to send me pictures of any part of your musical rig, it could be guitars, it could be a pedal board, it could be an amp that you absolutely adore and love, or it could be, in this case, Austin Barrett's Yamaha Clavinova. That one's been sat in the pile for a while, mate, but just the random nature of how I choose these, it's not come up until now. It's I keep thinking I should get a keyboard and just teach myself to, because I know like the theory of how to play a keyboard. It's like I'm the bloke who's read like extensively books on how to ride a bicycle, but doesn't own a bicycle. So maybe I should excuse me. Maybe I should get a keyboard. We shall see. Excuse me. Then we've got this one here from Chris Otterwell. This is his Ibanez RG550 Genesis. Oh, it's 1986 all over again, isn't it? That brings back memories. Do you remember when guitars like that were, the fresh, modern, new face of rock guitar? Ironically, if you get an original one now from the 80s, it's considered a vintage guitar. God, that tells you when you're getting old, doesn't it? Another Chris Otterwell one. This is his Revstar RSS 02T. I think this is the same model that one of my students has got, and I played it. I'm going to try and kind of tap him up for a loan of it, actually, so I can do a review. But that push-pull switch that's on the tone control is an absolute beast. It does loads of funky stuff. It's not just a 2P90 guitar that it appears this. It's a real wolf in sheep's clothing. Beautiful guitar. As I say, I'm going to try and tap up my mate Lee for a loan of that one. David Phillips's Tanglewood Les Paul. It's a good-looking guitar, isn't it? In that wine red colour. I remember Tanglewood guitars from my early days as a guitar teacher. The strap copy that you always used to get in the early 90s, where the forearm contour was always kind of shaded over with the kind of sunburst so that you couldn't see the laminations in the plywood. Yeah. They've certainly pulled up their socks in intervening years. I've played a couple of these Tanglewood Les Paul copies, and I think they've got the Entwistle pickups in them, which the last guitar I played with Entwistle pickups I wasn't massively a fan of. It was a Solo King guitar, but those Entwistles in those Tanglewood Les Paul copies they're a bit special, I seem to remember. Anyway, moving on. We've got Gary Shaw's 1995 Strat with Texas Special pickups. Yeah, that's looking like it's one of the Fender standard ones, isn't it? The made in Mexico, which, I mean, Some people like the ceramic pickups that were in those and have since been reintroduced in those Indonesian built standards. I never ever did. I always found them a little bit dark and woolly sounding. So no wonder somebody along the way has swapped them out for a set of Texas Specials. That's just a good looking workhorse Strat, mate, isn't it? If Strats are your thing, then you can't imagine really anything more than you would need from a Strat than what that's going to give you. This looks like, it's a very futuristic guitar, isn't it? This belongs to Rexomatic, and this is his recent acquisition, a Hills HN5. Hearing a lot of good stuff about these guitars, but I think, if I'm honest with you, I'm over the headless thing. Excuse me, I've had two headless guitars, both of them E-Arts, and just wasn't really. The neck on those E-Arts are absolutely fantastic. That's the main selling point, and the stainless steel kind of hemispherical fret ends and everything. But I just wasn't impressed with the headless nature of it. But I can get why people are. It's a very attractive and very futuristic looking guitar. It's certainly got an aura about it. Anyway, here we go, another one from Tom Clark. Tom Clark is the guy, as you no doubt know, who does have something of a collection of fretlight guitars. And what have you got lit up on the fretboard there, Tom? That looks like you've got G minor pentatonic dialed in on the LED system. Yeah, you've got quite a few of those, haven't you, Tom? And why you need more than one is perhaps a bit of a mystery, but I think you said that you're hoping that they're going to become collectible. Stranger things have happened. And finally, this week, another one from Tom Clark. This is his Mod Job Telecaster. You didn't give me many details on this, mate, apart from telling me that the pickups were something a bit special. But did it start out life as some kind of Fender, or is it a parts caster, or is it Fender, or did it start out life as a Fender? I guess is what I'm saying. But it's one colour I can never quite get my head round, though, is that sort of shell pink. I know it has something of a fan base, but yeah, pink guitars and me, I just they don't really gel. But that is, in any other colour, mate, that would be a guitar I'd be anxious to get my hands on. But it's a Telecaster. You gotta love a Telecaster, whatever colour. And there you go, folks. That is this week's selection of viewers' guitars. Lovely selection. Keep them coming. If you have any guitar pictures, or as I said earlier, it doesn't have to be a picture of a guitar. It can be a picture of any part of the rig that you use to make music. Sooner or later, somebody's going to send me a picture of their laptop and say, yeah, well, I record on this. That's part of my rig. But, if you've got any, guitar or music-related equipment that you want to show off to a wider audience, then ping me some pictures over jrguitartuition@gmail.com. JR, them's me initials, guitar tuition, that's me job, all one word, at gmail.com. Easy enough to remember, hopefully. Let's have what are you saying there, Craig? My newest purchase is a Washburn N7. Nuno is my favourite player, and I finally have one of his guitars. Yes, I remember back in the dim and distant days of the mid-1990s, we used to work together and have some lessons. Nuno was a name that used to crop up quite a lot in those lessons, mate. The Lamb saying, I like that. The scratch plate works great with the pink. It does. I will say that pink Telecaster, it manages to be pink and not overly Liberace looking. Calby's saying it's lilac. Um, Tom Clark, G minor pentatonic. Peter Nicholson is saying, I got a Korean Tokai Gibson. The neck is a Tokai from Japan. All mods, plays fantastic and looks great. Nice one, mate. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Tokai, can you? Jimmy James is saying, easier to tune when the tuners are at the bridge. Well, I didn't find it easy because I think that's just muscle memory and conditioning, though. Like when you hear a string is a little bit out of tune, instinctively I'll do that. Oh no, it's down here. So perhaps you would acclimatise to it. But here's the thing with headless guitars that I think I sort of came to realise after owning two of them. By the way, see the bruise? Dougal, yes. He was he gets up on the bed with us on a morning, and that was him telling me, get out of my way. But yeah, I think the thing I realised with headless guitars is I don't see what problem they solve. Gary Shaw, it's USA and assembled in Mexico. Oh, nice one, mate. Didn't know that. Yeah, I don't see what problem lopping off the headstock solves. I get the thing that, well, it makes it so that it's lighter, but it seems a bit of a drastic way of reducing the weight of a guitar. And I get the thing where it's, oh, well, you can take it on a plane as hand luggage. Well, yeah. I can see why for people who are jetting across the world from gig to gig would possibly find that, an advantage. But, realistically, how many of us guitar players have that issue that needs solving, really? It's, if you're Gary Shaw or someone like that who's like, kind of Mr. Session God, then fair enough. But guaranteed no headstock breaks, says Jimmy James. Yeah, well, that is very true. Did you see that episode of Trogley's ages ago where somebody had made a headless SG? It had a headstock break, and then they just kind of embedded the headstock behind the tailpiece. That was somebody who was determined to keep that guitar and just not get a new one, wasn't it? Cal B's saying, whatever will they trademark without the headstock? Johnny D, I had a strap with a locking nut. I think you mean locking nut, mate. I broke so many E, B, and G strings tuning the tuners when the lock was on. Yes. There we go. Puppy assault, yes. Steve Cassidy, always appreciate the Fatcaster sharing their wares. Steve, I've not had many pictures of you, mate, it has to be said. You have a massive guitar collection on the wall behind you in all of your videos. Send me some pics, and we can all look at how many how many Starcasters you've got, which is, I'm sure there's a support group for people who own too many Starcasters. Anyway, I've got a story to tell you. Right? Back in the 1980s, I was at a Merchant Navy Radio Officer Training College. I've spoken about this before, right? And I left college with some electronics qualifications and ended up working in the electronics industry for about 3 years before guitar lessons became my trade. When I was at college, I met a really great lad. He's my bestest and oldest mate. I was best man at his wedding. He was best man at mine. He's a really good pal. He's the sort of pal that everybody needs. And after he left college, he ended up working for the civil service. Just looking after basically the communications equipment. And part of this meant he occasionally used to have to go on foreign trips, to look after the fax machine in the embassy in Finland, or kind of fix the telephone network in the consulate in whatever country. Anyway, that was his job. He's not in that game anymore now. He's got an incredibly posh management consultancy business. But anyway, this one time, this is probably about in the sort of early to mid 90s. And as I say, I know he's watching this now, so this is a viewer's tale. It was on one of these foreign trips, and it was I can't remember the exact country, but it was somewhere in equatorial Africa. Flies, sweat, heat, and anyway, a memo went round all of the staff in the embassy that they were needed to go and meet and greet. What happens is, whenever any member of the royal family turns up to any of these countries, all the embassy staff have to go and line up on the tarmac and kind of do the bow and or the curtsy, and do the press the flesh, as it were. And on this occasion, I will apologise to the Patreon lads, the Tier 2 lads, because you've heard this story already, but I thought it deserved a wider audience. On this occasion, Princess Anne was flying into this country, wherever it was, as part of one of her UN ambassador roles, Save the Children or something like that. And she was flying in on this jet, and everybody had to go and stand on the tarmac and, bow and curtsy and everything. And anyway, hot day, sweat. You've got to be there in like your kind of suit and tie in this equatorial heat. It's just something apparently that you just have to endure as part of the job. And she comes down the plane steps, and she's obviously being briefed on who's in the lineup and kind of who they are, and just make a bit of small talk with them. And she gets to my mate, and let's call him Mr. I'm looking at a bottle of Morrison's Diet Cola here, so I'm going to say she gets to my mate, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Morrison, how are you finding it here in wherever it was?" And she says, "Oh, very good, ma'am, and and this is your first time in this country?" "Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. Yes, it is." Anyway, a little bit of a small talk conversation. She moves on to the next bloke, who's this grizzled, old Foreign Office diplomatic sweat. He's been in the service since his entire career, and this is his final trip before he retires. So she comes along to him and she says, Mr. Let's think of another name. Mr. Jones, I believe this is your last trip before retirement, before you head off to Blighty for a well-earned rest. He says, "Yes, ma'am, yes, it is." And she says, "What are you going to do in your retirement?" "Oh, well, the wife and I have bought this little cottage. We're going to walk the dogs in the countryside, grow a rose garden, all this kind of stuff, And she says, "Tell me, Mr. Jones, what have you missed most about England during your time here in Africa?" And he looked her in the eye, and without missing a beat, he says, "A dry fart, ma'am." And she smiled and winked and said, "I know exactly what you mean," and moved on to the next fella. I think that is a particularly good story. It's sort of, I just like that story. So anyway, we've got Budget Pedal Chap in. Let's have a look, see what you're saying there, mate. "Evening, gentlemen and ladies, and all in between. Happy Friday to one and all." Well, same to you, mate. MW Card is having a bit of a laugh out loud moment at that story. I promise you, that is true. That actually happened. Some of the details I may have changed, but like in terms of names and locations and so on. But that actually did happen. Yes, makes you proud to be British, doesn't it? Cal B saying, "Love the build-up," and then it ends on a flat note. Yes, that's. I had to get permission to tell that story off my pal because that's it. That's his tale, and It's a good one. He's got quite a few others, but that I could tell you, but I won't because I'm sworn to a vow of secrecy on many of them. Mr. Chris, where do you put your tuner? Exactly on a headless guitar. On those E-Art guitars, there was just like one little protuberance on the body where I managed to uh, get the clip-on tuner to kind of stay on. But then it was very precarious and it would ping off and fly away. Yeah. Steve Cassidy, on it, mate. I'll send you my Starcasters over. You do that, mate. Looking forward to it. Michael Purcell is saying, "Hey John, did you have your guitar in van while gigging?" Well, yeah, because it had to go in the van, because if it didn't go in the van, it wouldn't have been at the gig by the time I got there. A lot of the lads used to leave their gear in the van overnight between gigs. But I didn't. A, because I needed it the next day because I was doing lessons, and B, because I'm not leaving anything in, in a van. Basically, it's we all see these builders' vans, don't we? Where there are stickers on the van saying "No tools left overnight in this van." The fact that you need to put stickers on the van that say "There's nothing in here worth stealing" means that vans get broken into, and it did, not to a band that I was in, but it did happen to like a guy I knew in a different band. The van got broken into overnight, and they lost a load of equipment, and so it's about how you pack the van, really. You make sure that the stuff that needs to come out when you get dropped off, just, you pack that near the back doors. So it's, it just is the safest option, I think, to take your gear out. Mr. Card is saying, "I did that once and all my gear was stolen except for a gift that I had bought for my mother, which was sitting on the floor." It's a bummer, isn't it, mate? It's I did once. I used to live in a anybody from this part of the world will know the town of Middlesbrough, and anybody from Middlesbrough will know a part of Middlesbrough called Grove Hill. Yes, right near what was called the Palladium Shops. Little shopping precinct, and dear me, that was bandit country. That was exciting, shall we say, living there. And I was sort of known in the area as the bloke who played guitar, mainly because they could hear me kind of rattling everybody's windows with me Marshall at kind of ridiculous hours. And there was a guy turned up at my door once, with a list of stuff that he had for sale. A Fender Stratocaster and a Fender Twin Reverb amp, and, this pedal and that pedal. And I just politely declined, said, I'd love to, help you out, mate, but, I'm a bit low on funds at the moment. So I pointed him in the direction of a local music shop, knowing that he's not going to go there and try and sell hooky gear. But, that was obviously some poor sap who'd had their gear nicked from out of the van at a gig, and this little scrote, this nefarious little knobhead, was trying to hawk it round to, a Fender Stratocaster for like 75 quid he was wanting for it. Yeah, that's genuine, isn't it? That's... Yeah. Colin Falcon sums it up there. He says, Grove Hill, where if you haven't got a weapon when you move in, they give you one. Yes, indeed. That was very much, I seem to have donated a new word to the lexicon of some people on the internet. I've noticed a lot of people are using this word at the moment. Craig Stamen saying, I just valued a house in Grove Hill and they're not happy with the price I gave them. No, well, they wouldn't be because, well, don't live in Grove Hill then. It is a bit rough. It's that rough end of town. Every town has that rough end of town. And all of it, well, not every town does, right? Some towns don't have a rough end of town. And all of the towns that don't have a rough end of town gave those rough ends of town to Middlesbrough, because in Middlesbrough you've got Grove Hill, you've got Pallister Park, you've got Winniebanks. Oh, Winniebanks, there's a, yeah. You've got, where else? Too many to name, but yes, basically, every town in the country that doesn't have a rough part of town have donated their rough parts of town to Middlesbrough. We seem to collect them. Rent to Kill saying, Grove Hill sounds like most of Nottingham. Have you ever noticed, by the way, that quite often the roughest part of town always has the cutest and most picturesque name? Like, I live basically in Redcar, which is on the south of the River Tees, basically at the Tees estuary. And then on the north part of the river, there's a charming place called Port Clarence. Oh, dear me. Yes. You go to Port Clarence, you've got to kind of set your watch back 100 years. You need a man with a red flag walking in front of the car. It's one of those kind of places, the kind of place where the local newsagents sells happy birthday, Uncle Dad cards, and the village school has got 30 surnames has got 30 kids on the register, but only 2 surnames. You get what I'm saying. Let's have a look. Anyway, anything else to talk about in the last couple of minutes? Brambles Farm, there's another lovely part of Middlesbrough. Where are we? Cardiff does, it's called Ely. Fair enough, mate. Maiden Man is saying gobshite is his new favourite word. Austin Barrett, my pal got stopped at customs. Anything to declare? He said yes, he had shitty knickers. They opened his bag and we had a curry the night before. Probably best to answer in the negative in that sort of circumstance. Budget pedal shop saying, I don't know, Shard End in Brum sounds exactly like it should. Yes. Anton has just reminded me, yes. Don't forget Steve Cassidy's video in about 1 minute and 40 seconds time. Yes, go and watch Steve. I like to give his video a plug, but I can't for the life of me remember what you're talking about tonight, mate. So bung it in the chat. There's a good chap. Edwin Toonan is saying, I'm sure there's a cheap B&B for Carmageddon in those lovely places. Oh, yes. Just don't expect your hire car to have any wheels the next morning. Anyway, chaps, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm just going to swallow my last bit of beer. And head off downstairs for the delights of a chicken madras with rice and naan breads and mango chutney. Looking forward to it already. Thank you once again for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad talk absolute cobblers for an hour. I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me, but for now, time, gentlemen, please.